It's Rude, reusers of unloved, discarded excess, and it's Rude Girl here with a queen size bed sheet that I want to try and make into a fitted queen size bed sheet. I think I have done this decades ago and I can't remember what to do, but it shouldn't be that hard, should it? So I've put the queen size sheet, not fitted, it's not a fitted sheet, on the top of the bed. And it's hard to see because this room here is very small, and I will try and explain what I'm planning to do, and we'll see if it turns out. So as you can see, there's obviously a fair bit of sheet here hanging down from the bed because it's an unfitted sheet. It's meant to tuck in. What I am going to do is measure here the wall of the mattress, here between here and here, and I'm going to add on seam allowance and for a little bit of this fitted sheet to go under the bed. So I will take off a fair bit here. I don't know how much it's hard to say, 20 centimetres, whatever. And I will just cut right through, rip right through the sheet and take 20 centimetres off the length. The width here seems to be fine. It's just sitting down here, and the same at the top end of the bed. It's sitting up all right up here, just to the end of the wall. So that should be okay. Then it's what to do with the corners, and I'm just planning to, after this is cut off, just cut into here on a diagonal and stitch it back up. So I need to think about that, see how I go, and I'll get back to you later on with what's happening. I have just ripped off 23.5 centimetres from the length of the queen size bed sheet. So you can see that I've just ripped through, I haven't even cut it. And here is the piece here. So that's been removed. Now I'm going to just go around on the other side and do the same thing. Well, here I am back again with the corners, and it looks like what I've done is going to work. So I've pinned it, and yeah, hopefully it'll work. So I'll just take it off. This is the first corner, and I'll take the pins out. I'm using just one hand here because I've got the camera in the other hand, and just show you what I'm doing. Back over 2 or 3 decades ago, I remember somehow cutting a square in the corners of the sheet to do a fitted sheet. I got this measurement from down here on the corner of the bed. Bear with me, I'll just bend down. This is the corner. I measured up here and right down here, and then I measured from here to here, which is the actual wall of the mattress. So here's your corner here on the diagonal, and here's the wall. Now the wall was only 18.5, I think. Let me see, I've got my tape measure here. Yes, 18.5. 18.5, and I did 18.5 because of course the wall at the foot of the bed is the same width, and then just putting a diagonal across here to make it, what is it here? Oh no, 26.5. It was 26.5 on the diagonal. So that is going to be the square. I'm going to cut that out and then use the cutout as a template on the other 4 corners. The queen size fitted sheet has now been completed. And I've put it on the bed. Excuse the wrinkles and things, but I've got the other sheets not ironed, but I don't iron anything, so, but you get the idea. It fits. You can see it fits. There we go. Beautifully. A little bit scrunchy here, but that's okay. They all do that, unless they're super tight. So very happy. Anyway, we'll have a bit of a closer look to give you an idea of what I did. It's not perfect, but I'm very happy with it, and it will do the job. We'll go to the corner because everyone's interested in the corner. Now, that's not perfect. It's not sitting all perfect, but it's a corner and it's doing the job. And you can see it's, there we go, there's the elastic here. It just sort of sits under there. Now, I know when you buy these, they don't have the elastic showing on the outside. That's exactly why I did it, because I like to do things differently. And I quite like this elastic, just a point of difference. Very rude. So there you go, and it just sits under there. It just grabs under the mattress. It's all sitting. Here we go, here it is. And it just sits under. That's probably about it, and you can see that it's fitting over there. There. Right. So I'll just get my little book here, because I wrote the measurements down. That is the corner that I chopped out. I'm keeping that as a template because it worked. And for the fitted queen sheet, I measured that the width had to be 195.5 before I cut out the corners. So the square, the rectangle piece of fabric has to be 195.5 centimeters width. Then I worked out that the length, that's long ways here, had to be 251.5 centimeters. So the width up the top, 195.5 before you actually cut the corners out, and the length along the length of the bed before you cut the corners out had to be 251.5 centimeters in length. From here down to here is around 18.5. So all I did was 18.5 on the corners. Yeah, and then when it was cut out, I just joined the two together as I showed you in the previous section. Seam allowance I didn't really worry about because I was using an overlocker, and there's hardly any fabric that you require for a seam allowance if you use an overlocker. Now the perimeter, once the sheet's corners were all sewn up before the elastic went on, I measured the perimeter and it was 7.44 meters. So for the elastic I did 2/3 of that 7.44, which came to 5 meters. Yes, I had to do my fractions. That was a bit of a struggle. 5 meters of elastic, and it worked out perfectly. I just put the elastic on like you would put the elastic around the waist of a skirt, dividing into quarters. I divided the 7.4 into quarters, I divided the 5 meters into quarters, and then pinned the elastic to the perimeter of the sheet in quarters. I think those who sew will understand what I'm getting at. If you don't, please send me a message. So there you go, all in all, very, very happy, and I think you do get a far better quality sheet, especially with this type of very strong and wide elastic. So very, very happy with that. Thanks for watching my journey, and I hope I've encouraged you to give it a go.